Marvel Secret Wars was a real experience. There are different versions, but I'm talking about when all of the superheroes had to get together, stop universes from colliding, failing spectacularly. And at the very end of it, only a bad guy could save whatever was left and pull it together, while the good guys were too busy making an arc just to save their own arses. Ladies and gentlemen, God King Doom, I give you the Secret Wars. But before that, we had hope. The multiverse was coming apart. People could see that at different times. There was these interesting incursions going on. That's right, friends. The multi-universe Avengers using Captain Universe with some nice thingies. Fighting the good fight and, oh, yeah, character development. A significant event happens, let's say. And then up next, this one really hits me because this is basically Marvel versus DC. Reed Richards figured out really weird stuff's going on. Universes are crashing into other universes and they need to destroy the other universe or they'll both die. So does that mean the good guys have to be bad guys? We literally have T'Challa so upset and bothered by it, saying, look, there's this other universe that we have to go to and we have to destroy it or will be destroyed. I don't want to be this dick. And his ancestors are like, look, you gotta be the dick. And he just ain't cool about it. The Black Panther, I can't handle this. So anyways, eventually the Illuminati, which are the most important figureheads in the Earth-based 616 universe, get together and rub shoulders. And then heroes start facing heroes. Going from the bottom up, that's a mock-up of Dr. Fate, Superman, then The Flash. This one's legitimately sad. This part sticks with me. The heroes of both universes get together and they just talk. They admit they're both fucked. They know what they have to do. T'Challa's right out front, honorably, look, I built a bomb to destroy this planet. And the heroes of the DC universe are completely stunned. Of course, Namor's all cavalier about it and shit because he could, like, snap a few necks and, like, have a few beers and sleep like a baby. It ends up being a really sad fight. Batman tries to start some stuff, but Namor's not too cool with that. Soups gets all pissed off. I mean, this is effective. You just don't stop doing that. Turn that on and don't turn it off, Soups. And, of course, it's on. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Dr. Fate is having a circle jerk with his internet cronies. Oh yeah, I bet Iron Man could take down a speedster, no problem. If he absolutely needed to, I mean, he's in the Avengers with Quicksilver. I bet Tony Stark has definitely had to build stuff to keep Quicksilver out of his porn stash. That's all I'm saying. Namor taking a bite out of crime by going after Martian Manhunter. Wow, I love the artist. He's good. Boom! Okay, let's face it. Superman could take Hulk any day. All he really had to do was just put him in orbit. I mean, you could punch him into orbit, you could carry him into orbit. Like, let's face it, guys. There was a whole series where they just took Hulk and threw him into other dimensions, and Hulk fought things in other dimensions. And then later, like, let's just shoot him off to space. No, just put him in space. Him and Wolverine, put him in a zero-gravity room, and they're just done. Yeah, but we don't want to talk about that. We want to carry on with the story. Oh, he won. Oh, good. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, swoop, just like that. Oh, I love it. This is nothing abnormal to Tony Stark having a woman take his clothes off in record speed. Stephen Strange goes into his bag of tricks. Oh, it's another one of those where he draws evil. Is this where he sells all of his soul for all of the power? And then Stephen Strange is like, Dr. Fate, all you have is a bunch of toys and tools. Yeah, but Fate, isn't that what you got? You got the stone, right? Not only that, but you're using an artifact right here, Strange, so you're no better, right? Then we carry on in the next issue with the Black Panther having fights against his daddy. Daddy's like, you know what? I've had to let other Africans just straight up die and starve. You can do this. You'll notice that Captain America isn't part of any of this. They wiped his memory. He gets really sandy for that. Ultimately, Dark God gets summoned. Dark God basically has magical powers. Superman weak against magical powers. Everyone dies. Here you can see Namor hitting the button and exploding some shit because he's the only one that has the balls to actually explode it. This entire issue stays with me as far as comic books go, but this particular spot, Soups is offered to go to the surviving planet. But he's like, nah, I'd rather die here with my world. Make me wonder, how come they didn't just start depopulating one world onto another and then eliminating that world? How many universes would it take before the capitalists figured out that that was something that they could do? Moving on. Tell me Wilson Fisk wouldn't have figured that out after the first 3 incursions. Yeah, there's a big hate thing between these two, Namor and the Black Panther. They do not like each other very much, you might not know. Namor's going to beat him with his bare panther claws. But let's face it, Namor would totally win because he's been around longer. Or, you know what? They might actually let him kill Namor off and then bring him back later. Everything dies. Our sun and our galaxy, and eventually the universe itself. Everything dies. It's inevitable, and I accept it. Crap. Another incursion. I believe that this is when the characters start accepting death, which is a remarkable thing to me. It's rare you ever see your heroes accept death. I'll never forget in Toy Story 3, was it? When they thought they were going to hit the incinerator and they all just got together as family to face the inevitability of their demise. Though they were saved at the last minute, I had never seen a Disney character accept death before that. Now, Doctor Doom is primary caregiver to little Vivian here, and that is, I shouldn't say primary caregiver, but godfather, basically, to Reed and Sue Storm. There's a little bit of Victor in her, and of course she's supremely intelligent. Now, I generally find some particular panels to be particularly difficult, and they wouldn't have been difficult when I was a kid, but as I grew older and faced things like divorce and the realities of life, this one really hits me. Scream all you want in the moon, no one can hear you, so just scream away. It's okay to cry when you're scared the dog won't tell anyone. So the next little tidbit I'm going to put by you is after enough executions, your stomach just gets raw if you are a real human being in this century. There were situations during the Civil War where multiple executions were supposed to happen, but after the first few, everyone lost their taste for it, and people just got sent to jail instead. And that seems to be kind of what happens here. Namor is the only one willing to do the dark stuff to move forward. Sometimes you need to do dark stuff to move forward. Sometimes, like, let's face it, if you are the world's only champion and you get gangrene in your arm, then you have to do the dark thing of chopping your arm off so that you can continue to be the champion. If Namor didn't continue down the only road that he knew how, with the capacity of evil for what he had, the next incursion would have killed them. So Namor brings together the darkest people he can. They're so dark that these are cosmic horrors, and thus starts the nuance of everything dying, everyone giving up, and the only people there who can help are the darks. I just want to touch on this one story that I really like that doesn't have anything to do about the overall, but in the individual, it's awesome. I think that's called Terminus, and a lot of people have faced off against them in interesting little stories that I always had a lot of fun reading on the drives towards Easter in Toronto. Check it out, Hyperion just walking up to the Ultra Evolutionary or whatever, and he's like, oh yes, dialogue, where are they? Oh yes, if you want to know it, he just rips his arm off. How dare you? I'll do something that you'll never expect. I'm going to make a gun out of my arm and shoot you with it. That ought to kill someone like Superman, right? Yeah, guess how long that works for. And then Thor's all like, yeah, I've had enough of this. Someone finally goes for the headshot. He doesn't even say anything particularly cool. He's just like, Daddy, give me help with this. And Daddy's like, all right, son. And blam. My dad owns a dealership. Oh, wait, that was Hyperion? Bringing, a city through the thing's head? I love this oversized guy shoes thing. And then they hang out like OP bros, which is something that's going to go on a lot here. Oh, I love it. Now, this particular one is definitely one of my favorites because it rides the line between what are you willing to do and what are you willing to try to get away with, ultimately. Captain America always stands beside his virtues. There is nothing more powerful in the Marvel universes than Captain America's virtues. Good old Cap is not willing to hurt other people in order to survive. There's got to be another way. He's like Captain Kirk. There is no impossible situation. Okay, so continuity-wise, I kind of suck. This one was supposed to predate all of those ones. Basically, everyone got together and decided they had to explode other planets. Captain America was like, nah, son, we gotta use the Infinity Gems. So Cap tried with all his power and all his might, and he put everything into it, and it made the planet disappear. And all of the Infinity Gems shattered, except for one, the Time Gem. And Namor gets all pissed off and punches Captain America in the face, which legitimately has probably happened thousands of times by now. Cap's probably pretty used to this and might have even just let Namor punch him in the face. Basically, everyone decides that let's erase Captain America's mind because we think we need to destroy the thing. Long story short, Cap figures out what happened. He gets the Avengers together that will listen to him. They knock on Tony Stark's door, and all of a sudden the Time Gem pops up again, and poof! Everyone's taken 48 years into the future. They figure out what's going on. Clint or Hawkeye talks to Hawkeye about what happens after the divorce, who gets to keep the dog, but the kids don't talk to him anymore, which is somewhat heartbreaking. A future I might have to look at one day. I hope I navigate being a father well. Clint, being the hothead he is, decides to start taking out Iron Man because he knows that Iron Man has a thing in his hand that can take him away, so he's like, use the damn thing. So Iron Man teleports away, then conveniently the time stone pops up again, and everyone's like, poof, and they're gone. Now here's where it gets really interesting. 422 years in the future. Age of Ultron? Here you can see as they're going through time, Clint's all like, what? Oh! No. Of course he's not dead. He's a leading hero. Nobody dies that quick. They're in a future time, with future thingies, and future people who have their own stories, but we're not getting into that right now. Cybernetic bro here is cybernetic to be like Captain America, and they love each other. Or at least he's not supposed to love Captain America, but he actually does. And he's all like, hey, I'm a super intelligent computer guy, and I am going to give you a gift that is going to help you in the future. I love you too. It's going to crawl into your eyeball, by the way. And then, conveniently, the Time Stone pops up again and takes him back. Somehow, the most powerful ones are sent off the side and, of course, die forever and never see him again, I guess. Oh, wait, there they are. They didn't actually die. I guess that was some kind of optical illusion we don't need to talk about. It's a comic book. They get sent to the future where Franklin Richard... Oh, wait, no, not Franklin. That's another one of the Richards. Wow, this gets really involved, and the story is really well done. Legit. They were taking care in this. And also Natasha's sweater puppies. Check it out. It turns out that the planet that they thought they had destroyed was just teleported into the future and is going to be made into a new moon by the Stark Corporation. Yeah, boy, so Cap was right to begin with. We'll use the Infinity Gems. They run out of time and they go back to the future again. Now this is where it gets interesting. But he ends up at the end of time, like the end, and there's only certain people that exist this far into the future. Oh wait, I was wrong, it was the next one. Boom! Kang, Iron Lad. Didn't even know this guy existed until this issue. Man, it is really confusing when we get into Kang and who he is, but ultimately he is an individual that exists everywhere at once. There's 3 of him that go from different names. This is the Kang that was instructed by another Kang into being a perfect Kang, but instead this Kang decided to join the Avengers and be a good guy. This is a good Kang. This is the OG Kang the Conqueror, and that is a Kang the Conqueror that spent a lot of time in hell watching everyone, apparently. But ultimately, they are multi-level, not multi-universe, but all throughout the timeline of one universe. What's important to notice here is all 3 of these Kangs agree that life is basically over, and there is no purpose to life anymore. They need the stone for reasons. But what's important is, though this Kang's kind of okay, this one's a good guy. All of them are agreeing that your morality means nothing here, Rogers. The stone pops up, and they work together to put it in status. This part really hits home to me. He's like, I rescue the helpless. I raise the hopeless. I don't measure people's lives. I save them. No one cares. You are mistaken if you think you have any other choice in the matter. The gem is ours. With or without it, you are leaving. No, sorry, without it, you're never leaving here. Your time has come. I'm sorry, Captain. Yeah, even little boys like, yep, that's how it's happening. And then we go back to Clint from the original jump. You're supposed to tell you one more thing. When you get to the end, the line, they're going to tell you that you have two choices: to do nothing or to help Stark. Well, they're leaving out one option. You could take the monster out. Liar! Whoosh! That's not going to do anything. When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who choose to oppose these shields might bleed. I screwed that one up. Sorry, Cap. All right, legit. Who's the bad guy now? Captain America's looking at these guys. Captain America's like, I'm going after you guys. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on the side. I'm not getting to get into that stuff, though. Next up, time runs out. For our heroes. So like I was saying, this crossover goes over everyone. Even AIM is a good guy in this one when it comes to the cosmic multi-level Avengers. Here's where things get important. Namor decides he has had too much of the slaughter that has been going on with the Dark chapter. I've skipped a few things, but ultimately the bad guys, basically were too evil for Namor. They were too disgusting with the way they were destroying the other planets. So Namor decides to go to Doctor Doom and ask Doctor Doom for help. But Doctor Doom's like, hey, I am not going to be your second choice. Doctor Doom is nobody's second choice. The Cabal is unimaginable. So yeah, it gets super dark. I've had enough dark things in my life in the last year, so I'm just going to skip over how dark. But let's just say all the dark things that you could think about the evil people doing, they did. I need you, she says after she's spread her love all over town into every hillbilly and black person or Asian, anyone she could have found. And then now, I need you. She comes back to the original person she first loves. And he's like, no. I legitimately, after all this time, think Doom maybe was just angry that so much was going on and nobody told him. Richards already, one of the incursions happened over his country, and Richards wouldn't tell him anything about it. Yeah, it gets dark. Of course, you need to make it dark to... Doom, of course, goes into the underbelly of the Doom lair, and there is an old friend of Doom's. The Molecule Man, Owen Reese, is one of these individuals that back in the day, they made a lot of different bad guys, and this is one that if you thought about his power really, and if Doom manipulated his power, he could do anything. He could control every freaking molecule, and in doing it, as long as he was smart enough to know what he was doing, this guy's OP. So everybody notices that these universes and worlds are collapsing in on each other. A level of multi-universe Avengers get together. This is, I believe that's Thor the Unworthy, and this is a Hyperion from a separate universe where he himself tried to hold the two universes apart, and just as everything was erasing, AIM managed to collect him for this future mission. So the continuity that we've been looking at is Earth 616. In the Ultimate Universe, Reed Richards became a nut job, not a very good person. Oh wait, is this him? No, that's not him. But you're going to see a dude with that thing, and it's Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe, and he's a prick. So Val ends up calling Doom up and saying, you got to tell Dad something for me. Tell him you can't win. So now he has to figure out how not to lose. Now that's a chess thing. There is a way that you can win and not lose. It's called calling a draw. Doom just ain't about that. Doom's mutant and superpower is his balls. His giant freaking balls. Thanos did the snap, and Doom came after Thanos because he took out some of his Latvian people. Big balls, level 9 intelligence, and a nut job with a lot of power. The nut job's like, I see what's going on, Doom. Let me show you. Come away with me, Doom, on a magic carpet ride. Alright, so new artists, we're rehashing a little bit of the story. Doom's talking to Molecule Man. I love the artist. Molecule Man is messing around with Doom, making his mask, being a character. Alright, Universe 1610, the Ultimate Universe. Spider-Man, Peter Parker is dead, and Miles Morales is a Spider-Man in this universe. That's the maker that I was talking about. Reed Richards from a different universe, who is basically an incel, really upset because Susan Storm turned him down, and that is the Vision that he's talking to. So Black Bolt sends all the so basically all the bad guys get sent to the next universe that everyone is crashing into. It's the Ultimate Universe, and Reed Richards has just hooked up with the Cabal. Ant-Man all of a sudden breaks out from the beyond and finds out who's been causing all this stuff. It's those frickin' Beyonders from the Secret Wars in the 80s. He went and he watched as the Beyonders took out every galaxy level character. The Celestials. Just mows through them. Dude, the Living Tribunal even shows up to try to deal with it, and the Living Tribunal is the ultimate balance over all of the Marvel multiverse. There must be a balance somehow, and eventually this guy pops up, and he is laid low. Now, later on, everyone gets really upset with Tony Stark because he finds out about this, and he doesn't tell anyone, making people wonder, if you found God dead on the moon, would you tell anybody?